Hello everyone, this is Kiedra with another Minecraft tutorial. What can I say? I'm just having a lot of fun playing around with the new repeater log function. Now this video is actually an upgrade on a video where I showed you this new kind of T flip-flop that does not use any pistons. Just a short reminder, the downside on this was that we need 6 repeaters, and if we spam this input button we can jam up the system. Now I made an improvement on this, at least I think I did, that uses only 2 repeaters and 4 torches. Now let me just show you how this works. Just fine, I'd say. Yeah, I think this is quite an improvement. The size of this is actually 3 by 3 by 3 if we ignore this input block right here. In comparison to the old one, let me just repair this. Check the speed of the circuitry. It's quite similar, a little slower, but if I spam this button I can't jam up the system. So we did save on a few resources, and the system can't be jammed anymore. Alrighty, let me just show you how to build this. Place your input block and a button on this block. Behind the block a torch and a redstone, and before you place a repeater right here, place the repeater that we are gonna lock and set it to 4. This is very important. Now place a repeater here and set it to 2. Block on top of the torch, torch to the side, and a block behind the repeater that we're gonna lock, and a block in front. Place a redstone here, another block here, 2 blocks like this, torch right here behind the repeater that we're gonna lock, and another torch here, and connect this with redstone. Now this is gonna be your output. You can as well use this as an output, it doesn't really matter. And there we go, another T flip-flop. You can actually use this inverted output, so to say. So you have two different outputs that change. It's just a little feature, since there's a lot of redstone that you can connect stuff to. It's quite nifty. Now at the end of this video, for those of you who are interested, a few words on how this works. Let's just go back to the first T flip-flop that I made. The problem here was that the pulse that is going into this is 1 second long from this button. So we need to delay the signal that locks this first repeater here to shut the whole thing to an off, to put the whole thing into an off state. We need to delay that by a second. Let me just remove that, and don't do that, you will see what happens. This repeater here now locks in an on state, so if I press this again, it just won't change its state anymore. That was not really good, and we also needed this repeater here that is set to 2, so the signal that comes from the button, or the pulse, is long enough so that this repeater, when it locks this repeater again, because when I press this button, the lock state is turned off for a while, that this is still on and it's locked in the on state. Now what we do over here is we don't use a repeater anymore to kind of lengthen the pulse from the button. Instead we use 2 torches. And what we can do with this is we kind of override this torch right here when the output is set to on. Now as you can see, this torch right here is on now. So this torch that actually passes through the pulse from the button is now overridden and just can't change its state anymore. So when we press the button, which will give us a short time for this repeater to be unlocked. There's no power on it, and it will be locked in an off state. This is pretty much how it works. Another odd thing that I just came by, I don't know what's wrong with this redstone stuff, but as you can see right here, this repeater is set to 1, and the T flip-flop works just fine. Now when I showed you how to build this, I said set this repeater to 2. The reason for this is actually my second attempt trying to record how to build it. Because on the first try, I set it to 1, just like in my first creation over there. Now let's see what happens here. I have no idea what's wrong here. This is exactly the same like this one, even in the same direction. Because you might know there can be trouble with redstone depending on your F coordinate. Now this points west, just like this one. It's exactly the same, but it does not work. I have no clue why. But if I set this to 2, we're all good. So if you have trouble building this, go with a repeater delay of 2 here and you should be fine. So I really hope you enjoyed this new design. I think it's quite a decent improvement. On size we're still decent, and on the resource part we're quite good now. Just 2 repeaters and 4 torches. That is not too bad. And we cannot jam the system anymore, which I pretty much like the most here. So as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.